One day, James had to wait at Edward's station till Edward and his train came in. This made him cross. "Late again?" Edward only laughed, and James fumed away. "Edward is impossible," he grumbled to the others. "He clanks about like a lot of old iron, and he is so slow he makes us wait." Thomas and Percy were indignant. "Old iron? Slow? Why, Edward could beat you in a race any day." "Really? I should like to see him do it." One day, James's driver did not feel well when he came to work. "I'll manage," he said. The fireman uncoupled James ready for shunting. Suddenly, the signalman shouted, and the fireman turned round and saw James puffing away. "All traffic halted," he announced at last. Two boys were on the footplate. They tumbled off when James started. "Just let me catch them," said the fireman grimly. "I'll teach them to meddle with my engine." Both men jumped as the telephone rang. "Yes," answered the signalman, "he's here." "Right, I'll tell him. The inspector's coming at once in Edward. He wants a shunter's pole and a coil of wire rope." "What for?" wondered the fireman. "Search me, but you'd better get them quickly." The fireman was ready and waiting when Edward arrived. The inspector saw the pole and rope. "Good man, jump in." We'll catch him, puffed Edward, crossing to the upline in pursuit. James was laughing as he left the yard. "What a lark," he chuckled to himself. Presently, he missed his driver's hand on the regulator. And then he realized there was no one in his cab. "What shall I do?" he wailed. "I can't stop. Help! Help! We're coming! We're coming!" Edward was panting up behind with every ounce of steam he had. With a great effort, he caught up and crept alongside, slowly gaining till his smoke box was level with James's buffer beam. "Steady, Edward!" The inspector stood on Edward's front, holding a noose of rope in the crook of the shunter's pole. He was trying to slip it over James's buffer. The engine swayed and lurched. "At last, got him!" he shouted. He pulled the noose tight, gently braking. Edward's driver checked the engine's speed, and James's fireman scrambled across and took control. "So the old iron caught you after all?" chuckled Edward. "I'm sorry," whispered James. "Thank you for saving me." "That's all right. You were splendid, Edward." The engines puffed back side by side. The Fat Controller was waiting.
"A fine piece of work," he said. "James, you can rest and then take your train. I'm proud of you, Edward. You shall go to the works and have your worn parts mended."
"Oh, thank you, sir," said Edward happily. "It'll be lovely not to clank."